So I'm standing in the companionway looking outside. You can see the helm and you can see the back of the boat and where the other boats are moored. So let's take a slow walk down, coming down the companionway. Now I'm inside the boat, and if I turn to the port side, you'll see emergency things like the EPIRB there and one of the fire extinguishers. Then we'll come around there, you can see the chart table with the radios and GPSs, etc. Underneath the chart table you can see the safety harnesses on the left hand side and the life vests, etc. And while we're here, we'll take a stroll and look into the skipper's cabin. So this is normally where I sleep when I've got lots of students on board. You can see the skipper's cabin all the way along here. And there behind is one side of the engine, so I can remove that compartment and get access to the engine quite easily from this side. And if I sit on the seat here, there's the companionway coming down. On the starboard side coming down you can see the galley. So we've got a fridge underneath that green table or tablet. There's the stove, and we've also got, going down the port side, I've made, that used to be a bunk, I've changed that into storage, etc. So you can see more space for the engine on the starboard side. You take those covers off, so I've got lots of working space for the engine. It's nice, easily accessible. And I've put that door in recently to give people privacy that are sleeping in the back. It's a double cabin, which I'll show you in a little while. So if we go around, turn around, so I've got the saloon, you can see here in front of you, saloon table, quite spacious, some charts. I love hurricane lamps, they add a lot of atmosphere, and you can see the charts when I do my theory lectures with students, and big selection of music, glasses, stuff to hang, etc., etc. So this is the whole saloon area. And as we're going forward, now we'll turn to the port side and you'll see the heads. So this is the heads of the so-called toilet area, sliding cupboards there, and the toilet with the stopcocks quite visible. I think it's quite an important safety feature, those stopcocks, because you can see exactly what's happening and you don't flood the boat. Many people flood their boats because they don't know what's happening, where the stopcocks are, they break them, and before you know it the boat floods. And opposite the heads here we've got a sail locker. You can see the steps going up onto the deck, and then the various sails. So I've got the stay sails and the genoas, and I've got a whole list of sails here that I keep on board. There you can see some of the sails that I have that I keep on board when we go sailing. More fire extinguishers, and coming through into the forepeak you can see sleeps two people, fairly wide bunks on the starboard side and on the port side. I've got a spare 20-litre fresh water container because we've got a water shortage in Cape Town at the moment, so that's just in case. Another life ring, and you can see sort of hanging space here for students and shelving, etc. If students need anything. And then right in the forepeak, behind the mirror, the door's up, it's difficult to spot. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but that's where the anchor chain or the chain locker is, through there. Difficult to spot, but it gives you an idea. Then let's go back again. So sitting in the forepeak, you can see here all the way down the saloon, right down to the door at the far end going into the aft cabin. That's the only thing I haven't shown you yet. So let's take a slow stroll down, and as we go through the saloon, past the galley, past the spare area, storage space, we'll open this door and you can see the aft cabin. Hanging space on the left, that's a small single bunk here, some shelving that I made recently, hanging space at the top. There's a hatch for ventilation and escape, and then there's the main bunk on the starboard side. You can see quite large, and fire extinguisher again, and then turning around, sitting on the single bunk, I've got a working surface here. And if I lift this panel, just lift that up, if I lift the panel up, you can see I've got lots of storage space for my personal clothes. That's a box that comes out, and underneath that box I've got 6 of these small diesel containers. So these diesel containers you see here, they take about 18 litres. I've got 6 of those there plus that, so I've got another 140 litres of spare diesel in case we run out of the main tank. But that gives you an idea. There's the mirror, and if I open the door, you can see, looking down past the engine on your left and the battery selector on the floor there, all the way down you can see the saloon and the galley in the foreground, etc. So I hope that gives you an idea of sailing vessel Chantecler and what she looks like. Cheers.